Welcome back to Engineering Acoustics. Hi, this is Professor Ryan Harne. Our hearing sense is part mechanical, electrical, acoustic, fluidic, and takes account of neurology. In this video, we'll learn more about psychoacoustic phenomena and how they impact our hearing sense.
So let's get started. We now know that sounds can mask other sounds with similar frequencies, which depends on the relative sound levels. But many of the sounds that we hear day to day have some sort of periodicity, or they might contain speech. And our hearing sense responds differently with sounds having such characteristics due to lifelong training and experiences. In particular, many things that we hear are continuous in nature, so pulsed sounds are unnatural to us. What do you hear as we play this tone with background masking noise? You might hear a continuous sound when the masking is introduced in between the pulses. Now what do you hear? This phenomenon of a continuous sound created through the combination of a pulsed masking noise and a pulsed real sound is due to our lifelong training that we're used to hearing continuous sounds and continuous music. This extends to the fact that our brain will create sounds even when they're not there. Listen to this recording and tell me what you hear. You might hear words that are not even there. The recording doesn't actually contain words. Now what do you hear?
The sounds as they appear to you are not only different from those that are really present, but they sometimes behave so strangely as to seem quite impossible. But they sometimes behave so strangely, sometimes behave so strangely, sometimes behave so strangely, sometimes behave so strangely, sometimes behave so strangely.
Through a number of studies, researchers have found that when you listen to speech one time, it sounds like speech. But as you listen to the same line of speech 3, 5, 7 times, the more you listen to it, the more musical it sounds. What we hear can also be influenced by preliminary cues. So if I say, Sesame Street Big Bird, what are you thinking in your mind? Are you thinking of a blue bird? No, you are expecting to see a yellow Sesame Street Big Bird. So now let's first listen to this sound and tell me what you hear. Does this make any sense? Now listen to this recording. Does this sound familiar? So let's go back and listen to the original sound. Now what do you hear? After listening to the correct playing of Yankee Doodle, the original recording, which simply changed the octave of all notes, actually starts to sound like Yankee Doodle in your brain. These phenomena are shaped by life experiences, cultural background, and the specific hearing adaptations that we've created simply by being alive and hearing. Another unique phenomenon called the cocktail party effect was first discovered in the 1950s. researchers found that people would recognize speech better when they used binaural hearing than monaural hearing. Monaural meaning using one ear or one audio channel to hear. A 1958 paper in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America used groups of 1, 2, 4, or 7 talkers simultaneously reading newspaper text at a rapid rate. They were recorded in a single channel of a 2-channel tape recorder. Other groups spoke in the alternative channel, speaking the Harvard PB, or phonetically balanced, monosyllabic words. These are 1,000 words that continue to be added to date, which were the message that we were trying to hear. The researchers found that binaural hearing enhanced speech intelligibility even with a 0 dB signal-to-noise ratio, SNR. The plot here shows on the x-axis the number of extraneous talkers, and the y-axis is the percent of words correct. Stereophonic or binaural hearing assisted the listeners to hear the correct PB, phonetically balanced words, over the control, which was monaural hearing. With 7 extraneous speakers, though, the benefit was totally lost. But for less than 7 speakers, the binaural listeners had a much higher percentage of percent words correct from the phonetically balanced list. This has since become known as the cocktail party effect. Listen to the following speakers. There are 2 speakers in the recording. Let's first listen in monaural audio. Can you recognize what one of them is saying?
I think velocity meme is kind of overrated at this point, but I like it nonetheless. My favorite meme these days has got to be the EU banning memes meme because, I mean, Article 13 is ridiculous. Storm Dark has a video on this.
Now, let's listen in binaural audio. The speakers will be isolated to left and right channels. Now, can you pay attention to the speaker on the left?
I think velocity meme is kind of overrated at this point, but I like it nonetheless. My favorite meme these days has got to be the EU banning memes meme because, I mean, Article 13 is ridiculous. Storm Dark has a video on this.
This is the cocktail party effect. Our neurology, as well as our hearing sense, helps to enhance our ability to hear, even when the signal-to-noise ratio is 0 dB. Recall that for pure tones with background white noise, we needed greater than 0 dB SNR to hear. But when it's speech, we can pull out that message from background babble, even though the signal-to-noise ratio could be 0. To summarize what we've learned, our hearing sense is shaped by psychological factors inasmuch as it is shaped by physiological factors. Over time, we've adapted to hear continuous sounds, so our brain seeks and occasionally reconstructs sounds that are not even there. In the presence of noisy babble, our binaural hearing can pull out speech messages. This shows that our binaural hearing sense is enhanced through the neurological underpinnings of our brain.
That's it for this video. Clearly, our hearing sense is a powerful tool, so the next time you're out at a restaurant or mingling with friends, see if you can identify your cocktail party effect enhancing your ability to hear.